The International Day of Sign Languages was first celebrated in 2018 as part of the International Week of the Deaf. There are more than 70 million deaf people around the world, and they use more than 300 different sign languages. If you're powerful, you are much more likely to be blind and deaf to signals from outside. Love's not only blind but deaf. If the deaf are to hear, the sound has to be very loud. Be deaf, be blind, be dead to gossip, and it will grow disgusted with you and select a more sensitive victim. What an incredible thing! How much less they had than other human beings, mentally retarded, deaf, mute, and still eagerly sanding benches. Success listens only to applause. To all else it is deaf. I'm not a deaf musician. I'm a musician who happens to be deaf. Hear only the things you should hear. Be deaf to others. Deaf rage that hears no leader. Without big data, you are blind and deaf and in the middle of a freeway. Sign language is the noblest gift God has given to deaf people. A cricket tour in Australia would be a most delightful period in one's life if one was deaf. Passion is born deaf and dumb. If you listen too hard to the technology, your ear goes deaf to its implications. Most of my friends seem to be either dead, extremely deaf, or living on the wrong side of Kent. Who is so deaf or so blind as is he that willfully will neither hear nor see? I had to keep on acting deaf if I wanted to hear at all. I was deaf and dumb and blind to all but me, myself and I. The deaf community is hungry to see itself in the most positive way. Perhaps it's not the world that is soundless but we who are deaf. If you listen to dogs barking, you will go deaf without learning anything. I'm not really deaf. I just faked it to win the Oscar. Kidding. When I was young I knew I was deaf. I couldn't accept it. At some point we have to stop and say, there's Marley, not, there's the deaf actress. People are going deaf because music is played louder and louder, but because they're going deaf, it has to be played louder still. Listen to all the conversations of our world, between nations as well as between individuals. They are, for the most part, dialogues of the deaf. I have terrible hearing trouble. I have unwittingly helped to invent and refine a type of music that makes its principal proponents deaf. Most profoundly deaf people have speech that is very difficult to understand.